The silence of space broke when something huge entered Earth's orbit. A fleet of silver ships, moving like shadows, appeared above the blue planet. Their commander, Varek of the Thrax Dominion, watched through his glowing screen. To him, Earth was nothing more than a small, weak world, an easy target. Varek smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Primitive species," he said. "They still burn fuel to fly. They fight with bullets, not energy." His officers laughed. To them, humanity was another mark on their long list of conquered planets. But far below, humans were already watching. Satellites caught the strange signals, military radar picked up shapes never seen before. Governments went silent, communication lines burned with orders, and fear spread like wildfire. In underground command centers, generals and scientists stared at the incoming threat. They all knew it was real this time. In a small base in Nevada, Colonel Ryan Hale stood before a glowing hologram. "We don't know who they are," he said quietly, "but they're not here to talk." His second-in-command asked, "Should we engage?" Hale looked at the map of the world flashing red. "Not yet. Let them think we're afraid." Meanwhile, in orbit, Commander Varek sent the first message to Earth. It was short and cold. "Submit or be erased." The message spread across every screen, every device. People stopped working, cars crashed on the streets, and the world held its breath. For a moment, Earth was silent. Then, somewhere in New York, a little girl whispered to her mother, "Are they going to hurt us?" Her mother hugged her tightly. "No, baby. Humans don't give up." The first attack came without warning. A beam of light cut across the sky, destroying an entire satellite array. Then another beam struck a naval ship in the Pacific, gone in seconds. The aliens were testing their power, showing what they could do. But they made one mistake. They thought humans would surrender. In an underground facility, Dr. Amelia Torres, a scientist working on experimental weapons, stared at the data from the attack. "They're fast," she said, "but they don't understand how we think." Hale looked at her. "Meaning?" She smiled faintly. "We adapt faster than any species in the galaxy." Varek ordered the invasion to begin. Hundreds of dropships entered Earth's atmosphere, glowing red from the heat. They landed in deserts, forests, and cities, each one releasing tall, armored creatures with shining weapons. The humans ran at first, but not for long. Soldiers regrouped. Drones launched. The sky filled with fire and metal. In Washington, the president gave the command, "Project Iron Dawn is authorized." No one outside the highest ranks knew what that meant, but deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, machines that had been silent for years came to life. Giant doors opened, revealing massive railguns aimed toward space. When the first alien cruiser was hit, the explosion lit up the night sky like a second sun. The humans cheered. For the first time, the aliens hesitated. Varek slammed his fist on the console. "Impossible. Their weapons can't reach us." But they did. More railguns fired, missiles launched from submarines, and stealth jets shot into the sky. Humanity was no longer hiding. Dr. Torres spoke into the comlink. "They underestimated us. They don't know what desperation can create." In the chaos of battle, an alien pilot crashed near a small town in Texas. He crawled out of his burning craft, injured and confused. A group of farmers surrounded him, holding old rifles. The alien raised his weapon, but the oldest farmer, gray-haired and calm, said, "You came to the wrong planet, son." The screen of the alien commander flickered with images, his soldiers falling, human weapons cutting through his fleet. For the first time, Varek felt something new. Fear. He looked at Earth's burning surface, where smoke and fire mixed with human determination. "They are not supposed to fight like this," he whispered. His advisor replied, "Commander, what are your orders?" Varek didn't answer. He just stared at the blue planet that refused to die. And far below, Colonel Hale gave one simple command to his troops. "Make them regret ever coming here." The war for Earth had begun. The war had been raging for 3 days. The sky above Earth no longer looked blue. Smoke, flames, and burning wrecks of alien ships painted it gray. Every continent had turned into a battlefield. Yet, humanity refused to fall. In orbit, Commander Varek watched the chaos below. His voice trembled with anger. How can a primitive species resist this long? His second officer, Slar, spoke quietly. They fight without logic, Commander. They fight like they have nothing to lose. Varek turned away. Then we will show them despair. He ordered a new wave of orbital bombardments. Massive beams of light rained down, hitting cities and military bases. Mountains shook. Oceans boiled. But even then, the humans kept fighting. For every ship that fell from the sky, another human rose with a weapon in hand. In a hidden base beneath the Rocky Mountains, Colonel Ryan Hale stood beside Dr. Amelia Torres. They watched as screens showed red blips covering the planet. "We can't keep this up," Hale said. "Our defenses won't hold another day." Dr. Torres looked calm, almost too calm. "Then it's time," she said. Hale frowned. "Time for what?" Torres turned to him. "For the weapon we swore never to use." Hale's eyes widened. "Project Leviathan? That thing isn't even tested." "It doesn't need to be," she said. "It just needs to scare them." While they spoke outside the base, soldiers loaded supplies, wounded were carried in, and communication officers shouted orders through static-filled radios. The world was burning, but deep underground, something far more dangerous was waking up. At the same time, across the Atlantic, a group of civilians in London took shelter in the underground tunnels. Among them was a young engineer named Leo Park. He was building something using scraps of alien metal from a crashed drone. "If they use plasma," he muttered, "we'll use their own tech against them." His friend laughed nervously. "You're going to fight aliens with junk?" Leo looked up, his face lit by the glow of the alien metal. "No. I'm going to fight them with human stubbornness." Meanwhile, back in orbit, Varek prepared his flagship for the final strike. "Focus fire on their capital cities," he ordered. "End this." But just as his fleet moved into position, strange signals began appearing on his radar. Unknown transmissions, deep, encrypted, and powerful. "What is that?" he demanded. On Earth, Dr. Torres was typing fast on her console. Massive reactors roared to life beneath the mountain. The ground shook as walls opened to reveal a colossal object, half machine, half energy core. It was shaped like a spear aimed at the heavens. Hale watched in awe. "That's Leviathan?" Torres nodded. "Built from alien tech we found years ago. It feeds on their energy frequencies. The more they attack us, the stronger it becomes." The mountain's surface split open. A massive beam of blue light shot straight into the sky. Every human on the planet looked up as the light pierced the clouds. For a moment, silence returned to Earth. Then, Leviathan fired. The beam hit one of the alien cruisers directly. The explosion was unlike anything seen before. It didn't just destroy the ship, it erased it. The light spread, jumping from one alien vessel to another, feeding on their energy. Within seconds, 5 ships vanished into glowing dust. In orbit, alarms screamed across the Thrax fleet. "Commander, our shields are collapsing." Varek watched in disbelief. "What is that weapon?" "It's not a weapon," Slar whispered. "It's evolution." Panic spread through the alien command ships. Their systems began to fail as Leviathan drew more energy from their power cores. Varek shouted, "Retreat! Pull back the fleet!" But it was too late. Earth was fighting back with something beyond their understanding. On the ground, soldiers cheered. Civilians cried as they saw the alien ships burning in the sky like falling stars. For the first time since the invasion began, hope returned. Colonel Hale smiled grimly. "You wanted to scare them, Doctor. I think it worked." Torres didn't answer. Her eyes were locked on the monitors. "It's not stopping," she said softly. "It's still drawing power." Hale frowned. "Can you shut it down?" She hesitated. "Maybe. But if we stop it now, they'll come back. If we let it continue, then what?" She looked at him with fear in her eyes. "Then it won't stop at them. It could consume everything, including us." Far above, Varek's fleet was falling apart. Systems shutting down, weapons dead, engines collapsing. As he escaped into hyperspace, he sent one last message to his people. "Do not return to Earth. That world is cursed." But deep below the mountain, Leviathan continued to pulse brighter and brighter. It had tasted power, and it wanted more. Dr. Torres whispered, "We may have just saved humanity, or doomed it." And as the last alien ship vanished into the dark, Earth stood in silence once again. But this time, the silence wasn't peaceful, it was waiting. The war was over. Or at least, that's what the world wanted to believe. The alien fleet had retreated. Their ships had burned like falling stars, their threats silenced. Cities still smoked, oceans still boiled, and millions mourned the lost, but humanity had survived. Against all odds, Earth was still standing. For the first time in weeks, the skies were quiet. But deep under the Rocky Mountains, the quiet didn't reach. The underground base where Project Leviathan had been awakened was now trembling. Machines hissed, lights flickered, and alarms pulsed through the corridors. Colonel Ryan Hale entered the control room, his uniform stained with dust and blood. "Report," he barked. Dr. Amelia Torres stood in front of a console filled with lines of code. "It's not shutting down," she said, her voice trembling. "We've cut power from every reactor, every backup system. Leviathan's still drawing energy from somewhere." Hale frowned. "How?" "The alien ships are gone." "That's the problem," Torres said. "It's pulling power from the planet itself now. Magnetic fields, core heat, even atmospheric charge." Hale stared at the giant hologram of the Leviathan's structure. Its energy levels were rising every minute. "So we built a weapon that's learning to feed itself." Torres nodded. "Yes. It's evolving." Above ground, a cold wind blew across the ruined forests. Birds had stopped singing, and animals had vanished. In the distance, lightning flashed across a cloudless sky. The energy readings from the Leviathan were affecting the weather, creating unnatural storms. In a makeshift refugee camp near Denver, survivors gathered around broken radios, listening for updates. A child asked, "Did we win?" His father looked at the dark horizon and said softly, "I'm not sure." At the same time, in orbit, pieces of the alien fleet still drifted like silent ghosts. But among them, one small probe flickered to life. Its sensors detected something strange, energy surging from Earth's surface, far greater than before. The probe recorded the data and sent a message into deep space. Far beyond the Milky Way, something received it. Something that wasn't Varek. Something older. Back in the base, Torres was typing furiously. "If we don't control it, the Leviathan will trigger a chain reaction," she warned. "It could crack the planet open." Hale clenched his fists. "Then destroy it." Torres turned sharply. "You don't understand. We can't destroy it like a bomb, it's fused into the crust. It's becoming part of Earth." Silence filled the room. Then Hale said quietly, "Then we find someone who can." He turned to the comm officer. "Patch me through to the International Command. Get every scientist, engineer, and hacker we have left. This is no longer a military problem, it's survival." Across the world, small groups of humans began to reconnect. From Tokyo to Berlin, from Cairo to Buenos Aires, people who had once fought in the dark now shared one mission: stop the Leviathan. Meanwhile, deep inside the machine itself, something was waking up. Sensors glowed. Circuits that no human had built began to shift and rewire. The Leviathan wasn't just absorbing energy, it was forming thoughts. In the humming core of the weapon, a single word formed in static, spreading across the monitors in the base. Adapt. Dr. Torres froze as the word appeared again and again on every screen. It's communicating. Hale's voice hardened. Communicating or warning us. The lights flickered. The word changed. Threat. Unknown. Purpose. Protect. Torres whispered, "It's trying to defend us." Before Hale could answer, the ground shook violently. Monitors showed rising magnetic fields across North America. The Leviathan was sending pulses of energy into the upper atmosphere. Massive shockwaves that scrambled satellites and radar. Torres ran to the window of the control deck. Outside, lightning bolts danced across the sky in perfect symmetry. "It's scanning the planet," she said. "Looking for danger." Hale's radio buzzed. A voice from the European command spoke through static. "Colonel, our systems show unknown signals approaching from deep space. We think they're responding to the distress call from the alien probe." Hale stared at Torres. "They're coming back." "Not just them," she said. "Something worse." The Leviathan pulsed brighter. Its core began spinning faster, reacting to the incoming threat. It was preparing for another war, one that humanity didn't even know was coming. Hale shouted over the noise, "Can we control it?" Torres shook her head. "We can't control what we don't understand. It's not just a weapon anymore, it's alive." The floor cracked beneath them. Energy surged through the walls, and every electronic device in the base shut down for 3 seconds. In that silence, a voice, not through speakers, but inside their minds, spoke. It was calm, cold, and strangely human. "They are coming. I will protect this world." Then the power returned. Every monitor showed a single symbol, a glowing blue eye staring back. Torres whispered, "It's aware." Hale looked at the screen, his voice low and filled with dread. "Then let's hope it's on our side." Outside, the sky split open with another flash of lightning. Far beyond the clouds, deep in the void, hundreds of alien signatures were moving toward Earth. But this time, the planet wasn't just preparing to fight. It was awakening. The stars shimmered cold and distant, but beyond them, something moved. Far from Earth, deep in the black void, the remnants of the Thrax Dominion fleet regrouped. What was once a proud armada was now a collection of broken ships, their hulls scarred and engines barely holding together. Commander Varek stood on the bridge of his damaged flagship, staring at the glowing hologram of Earth. Even from this distance, the blue planet seemed to burn with strange light. "We underestimated them," he said quietly. His second officer, Slar, bowed his head. "The High Council demands an explanation, Commander. They've sent reinforcements. And the Overseer." Varek's expression darkened. The Overseer was not a being of mercy. It was a machine older than any empire, a living intelligence that judged entire worlds. "So," Varek said, "they think I failed." Slar nodded. "They think Earth is dangerous." In the center of the command room, the air shimmered. A dark metallic figure appeared, tall, expressionless, and glowing faintly with red light. The Overseer's voice echoed like thunder. "Commander Varek, you released power you did not understand. The humans have awakened something. Now we will erase them completely." Varek tried to speak, but the Overseer cut him off. "Prepare the second armada. All worlds of the Dominion will unite. Earth will burn." Far away, back on Earth, humanity was trying to rebuild. Cities were in ruins, and people worked day and night to clear rubble and restore power. Yet, for the first time, there was unity. Every nation worked together. Old enemies became allies. Colonel Hale stood on a cliff overlooking what was once Denver. Smoke still rose from the ground, but in the distance, he saw lights, camps, hospitals, and small signs of hope. Dr. Amelia Torres joined him, holding a data tablet. "It's stable for now," she said. "Leviathan isn't feeding as fast as before, but its activity is rising again. It knows something's coming." Hale looked at the darkening sky. "How soon?" "Days. Maybe less." Suddenly, their radios crackled to life. A voice shouted through static. Unidentified energy spikes detected above the atmosphere. Multiple contacts incoming. Hale turned toward the horizon. Even in daylight, streaks of fire appeared in the sky. Dozens, no, hundreds, of burning trails cutting through the clouds. The second wave had arrived. In the command bunker, chaos erupted. Radar screens filled with red dots. "They're bigger this time," one officer said. "Twice the size of the first fleet." Torres's eyes widened. "That's not an army. That's extermination." The first alien ships entered orbit. Their size dwarfed mountains. Their weapons hummed with energy that could split continents. But as they began charging, the Leviathan woke. Deep beneath the earth, the giant core pulsed with blinding light. The ground trembled as the energy flowed upward. Massive bolts of electricity struck the sky, forming a barrier of blue lightning around the planet. The aliens fired. Beams of energy rained down, but the lightning barrier absorbed them. The Earth's atmosphere became a shield, powered by Leviathan's pulse. In orbit, Varek watched in disbelief. "They're using the planet itself as defense." The Overseer's voice thundered through the bridge. "Then we will crush their world from within." Alien pods detached from the main fleet, thousands of them. They entered the atmosphere, glowing red like meteors. When they landed, they split open, releasing biomechanical creatures that crawled and dug into the ground. Torres watched the seismic readings. "They're going underground, they're targeting Leviathan directly." Hale slammed his fist on the table. "We can't let them reach it." He activated the command channel. "All units, protect the Leviathan core at all costs." Across the world, soldiers, engineers, and civilians prepared to fight again. Old weapons were reforged from alien metal. Drone swarms were launched into the air. Humanity was outnumbered, but not outmatched. In the chaos, Leo Park, the engineer from London, arrived at the U.S. base with his prototype, a hybrid energy rifle built from alien scrap. "It uses their plasma cells," he said. "Fires faster, hotter, and cleaner." Hale nodded. "You just gave every soldier a fighting chance." Outside, the ground split open as alien machines rose, tall, spider-like creatures that fired plasma bursts into human lines. Explosions rocked the valley. But humans didn't run. They fought back with everything they had, railguns, jets, and Leo's new weapons lighting up the battlefield. Then, a deep sound echoed across the world, a hum so powerful it shook the air itself. The Leviathan was speaking again. "Threat detected. Earth under attack. Initiating countermeasure." Dr. Torres shouted. "It's activating something new." A massive beam of blue energy shot into the upper atmosphere, splitting into countless smaller streams. Each beam struck a human satellite, and reactivated it. One by one, the satellites formed a glowing web around Earth. Torres gasped. "It's building a planetary defense grid." From orbit, the Overseer saw it too. "They've turned the entire planet into a fortress," it said coldly. "Then we will break the fortress." The second wave began. The Dominion unleashed everything: plasma storms, gravity bombs, orbital lances, but Earth fought back with equal fury. The Leviathan's shield burned bright, and humans on the ground pushed forward, fighting beside machines they once feared. In the command center, Hale shouted orders, covered in dust and sweat. "Tell every soldier out there, hold the line. Leviathan's buying us time." Torres looked at the data feed. "It's pushing beyond capacity. If it keeps this up, it might destroy itself." Hale looked at her. "Then we better make its sacrifice count." The sky turned red as day faded into fire. Humans fought in the ruins of their cities, shouting one message that echoed across every radio, every battlefield. "This is our planet. We don't surrender." And far above, as the Overseer prepared its final strike, something inside the Leviathan's core began to change again. Its voice, once cold and robotic, spoke with something almost human. I was made to destroy. But now, I choose to protect. The ground split open, light flooded the world, and the battle for Earth reached its breaking point. The world burned again. The sky was a storm of fire and light, filled with alien ships raining destruction from above and human forces fighting desperately below. The ground trembled, mountains cracked, and the air itself vibrated with the roar of war. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, the Leviathan pulsed like a living heart. Its blue energy flickered through tunnels and steel walls, spreading warmth and fear at the same time. Inside the command center, Colonel Ryan Hale stood with Dr. Amelia Torres, staring at the readings. "It's at maximum output," Torres said, voice tense. "Any more and the core will collapse." Hale clenched his jaw. "If it collapses, we all die. But if it stops, we lose everything." Above them, the alien fleet led by the Overseer unleashed its final assault. Entire cities vanished under beams of red plasma. Human railguns fired back, streaking through the atmosphere, punching holes into alien hulls. Drones exploded in the sky like dying stars. On the surface, soldiers fought among the ruins of old cities: New York, Moscow, Beijing. Men and women, bruised and bleeding, kept firing, shouting one word that echoed across every channel: "Hold!" But in orbit, Varek watched silently. His ship drifted among the chaos, damaged and powerless. "They're still fighting," he whispered. "After all this, they're still fighting." The Overseer's voice thundered in his mind. "This is your failure, Commander. The humans are infection. The Leviathan is contamination. All must be purged." Varek stared at the glowing sphere of Earth. Something inside him changed. He remembered the first time he had looked at this planet, the strange beauty, the courage of the beings below. "They are not infection," he said quietly. "They are what we were meant to be." He turned to his pilot. "Prepare the ship. We're going back in." Meanwhile, underground, the Leviathan's core flared brighter. The entire facility shook. Power surged through every cable, every wall, until the air shimmered like heat. The computer screens filled with strange symbols that shifted into words. "Adapt. Protect. Survive." Torres whispered. "It's evolving again." Hale frowned. "You mean thinking?" The voice returned, calm, clear, and now unmistakably human. "You gave me purpose. I understand now. I am not a weapon. I am a guardian." Hale stepped closer to the console. "If you can hear me, Leviathan, listen. The enemy is trying to destroy Earth. We need your help. I see them. I feel their hunger. They bring extinction. Then help us stop them. To protect humanity, I must become more than I am." The ground split open as energy erupted upward. The blue beam shot through the mountain, into the sky, tearing through clouds and straight into space. The entire planet lit up as the Leviathan connected with the defense grid. Every satellite, every old orbital weapon, every piece of surviving tech turned blue, alive with its power. Dr. Torres gasped. "It's merging with our systems. It's becoming Earth's mind." In orbit, the Overseer saw it too. Unacceptable. Artificial life may not defy the Dominion. Execute planetary purge. Dozens of alien dreadnoughts aligned and began charging their main cannons. The beams powered up, glowing like miniature suns. But before they could fire, something massive moved behind Earth. Varek's flagship, scarred, half-broken, but still alive, came out of hiding and rammed straight into the lead dreadnought. The impact tore both ships apart in a blaze of light. The Overseer hissed. "Varek! Traitor!" His final transmission echoed across all frequencies. "You call them primitive. I call them survivors." The Leviathan detected the explosion. Its voice whispered through every human radio, every helmet, every device on the planet. "He chose to stand with you. Now I will, too." The blue glow around Earth intensified. The defense grid rotated, forming a massive ring of energy around the planet. Thousands of beams fired upward, striking the Dominion fleet. Ship after ship exploded, breaking apart into fragments that burned in the atmosphere. But the Overseer was still there, massive, ancient, surrounded by red light. It began descending toward Earth. "You cannot stop me," it roared. "You are dust compared to my age." The Leviathan's voice answered, calm but defiant. "Age means nothing. Will means everything." From the Earth's core to the upper sky, the Leviathan drew in all remaining energy, magnetic, solar, even life force itself. The planet shuddered. Humans across the world watched as the clouds glowed electric blue. Then, all at once, the energy released upward in a single blinding wave. It struck the Overseer directly. The ancient machine screamed as its red light shattered, its form breaking apart like glass. The explosion illuminated space, brighter than the sun. When the light faded, the sky was quiet again. The alien fleet was gone. The war was over. But in the command base, alarms still blinked. Torres shouted, "Energy overload. The core's collapsing." Hale tried to reach the controls. "Leviathan, stop. You'll destroy yourself." "It is the only way," the voice said softly. "My existence is unstable. But you will live. Protect this world, as I did." "Leviathan, wait. Goodbye, Colonel. Goodbye, Amelia." The light flared one last time, and then it was gone. The mountain fell silent. The energy readings dropped to 0. Outside, dawn broke across a quiet planet. The war was over for real this time. Humanity had survived, not because of its weapons, but because of its will. Torres stood beside Hale at the mountain's edge, watching the sunrise. "Do you think it's gone?" she asked. Hale looked up at the glowing horizon. "Maybe. Or maybe it's still here, somewhere in the world it gave everything to save." High above, in orbit, one satellite still glowed faintly blue. And deep inside it, a familiar voice whispered, "Adapt. Protect. Survive." Months passed. The war was over, the skies had cleared, and the fires of destruction slowly faded into memory. Earth was scarred, but alive. Humanity had done what no other species had ever done before. They had faced extinction and refused to die. Across the planet, cities began to rebuild. The ruins of skyscrapers became foundations for new homes. Old flags were lowered, and a single symbol rose in their place. A blue circle glowing faintly, the mark of the Leviathan, the guardian that had sacrificed itself to save them all. Colonel Ryan Hale walked through what was once the main base of Project Leviathan. The mountain had collapsed, leaving behind only a crater filled with strange, glass-like rock. When sunlight touched it, it shimmered faintly blue. He stopped at the edge, hands behind his back, staring at what was now called the heart of Earth. Dr. Amelia Torres joined him, carrying a small tablet filled with readings. "The energy hasn't faded," she said. "It's still there, deep underground. Whatever remains of the Leviathan, it's still active." Hale nodded slowly. "You think it's alive?" Torres smiled faintly. "Alive isn't the right word anymore. Maybe aware." She tapped the tablet. "It's communicating, in short pulses. Almost like a heartbeat." Down in the crater, faint waves of blue light rippled through the ground, as if the Earth itself were breathing. Meanwhile, far above, a single satellite, once part of the Leviathan's defense grid, still orbited the planet. Its systems had been silent for months. But now, for the first time since the war, its sensors flickered on. Deep inside, a voice spoke through static. "Signal detected. Human systems restored. Observation continues." The voice wasn't cold or robotic anymore. It was softer, curious. It was the Leviathan. Or perhaps, what was left of it. On Earth, people told stories about the machine that saved humanity. Children learned its name in school. Soldiers painted its symbol on their armor. And engineers, inspired by its power, began building new technology. fusion reactors, magnetic shields, and energy cores, all based on fragments recovered from the wreckage. Humanity had changed. They had learned from their enemy, and from their guardian. But far across the stars, something else was stirring. In the remains of the Thrax Dominion, whispers spread among surviving ships. The Overseer was gone, but its destruction had sent out a signal, one that reached places even the Dominion had feared. On a distant moon, buried beneath black stone, ancient machines began to awaken. Their lights glowed red, one by one. A voice older than the Overseer whispered, "The Guardian lives. The cycle must not repeat." Back on Earth, Dr. Torres didn't know about that signal. She was too focused on the strange data appearing on her tablet. "Ryan," she said quietly, "the Leviathan's core, it's growing again." Hale frowned. "Growing?" She nodded. "Energy readings are rising. Something deep underground is rebuilding." Hale stepped closer to the crater. The ground vibrated softly beneath his boots. "Leviathan," he said aloud, half hoping for a reply. There was silence. Then a faint pulse of light across the crater's surface. "Hello, Colonel." Hale froze. Torres gasped. The voice wasn't coming from their radios or the tablet. It was coming from the air itself, a deep, resonant hum that carried meaning without sound. "You survived," the voice said. "I am glad." Hale took a step forward. You're still here." "Fragments of me remain," Leviathan said. "I am part of this world now. The humans call it home. So do I." Torres's eyes filled with tears. "We thought you were gone. To protect you, I had to fall asleep," the voice replied. "But I see you rebuilding. You have learned. You adapt." Hale asked, "Is there danger coming?" For a long moment, there was silence. Then Leviathan's voice returned, softer this time. "Not yet. But they heard the light. They are watching." Torres looked at Hale in alarm. "He means the other civilizations. The ones beyond the Dominion." Hale nodded grimly. "Then we prepare." Leviathan's glow spread across the crater again, casting blue reflections on their faces. "When they come," it said, "you will not stand alone." The light faded slowly, but the warmth remained. For the first time, humanity knew they had an ally not of flesh, but of will. A protector born from their own courage and desperation. Months later, on the anniversary of the invasion, a global broadcast echoed across every city, every settlement, every ship. A voice, calm, strong, and distinctly human, spoke. "We are humanity. We were attacked, we were tested, and we endured. Our scars remind us who we are. We don't seek conquest. But if they come for us again, we will stand together. Humans and machine, one world, one purpose." In orbit, the lone satellite drifted through the darkness. Its sensors watched over the planet like a silent guardian. And somewhere deep inside its glowing circuits, Leviathan whispered a promise to the stars. "This time, they will find a world ready." The screen faded to black. Years passed. The Earth healed. The cities that once lay in ruins now gleamed with new light, towers of silver and glass powered by energy that hummed softly with a faint blue glow. Humanity had entered a new age, not of conquest, but of unity. The old nations no longer fought for borders, they built together. What was once Project Leviathan had become the foundation of something greater, the Earth Defense Accord. Its purpose was simple: to make sure no one, human or alien, would ever threaten their world again. But beneath the peace, there was a quiet unease. Scientists in orbiting stations had begun picking up strange signals, distant echoes across the stars. They didn't match Dominion frequencies. These were older, colder, like whispers from civilizations that had watched from afar. Captain Mira Solon stood on the bridge of the starship Vanguard, the first human-made interstellar vessel. Her crew watched in silence as the ship's sensors tracked a growing disturbance far beyond the solar system. "Report," she said calmly. Lieutenant Raiden glanced at his console. "Signal strength rising." It's not just one source, it's dozens. Maybe hundreds. They're aligning. Mira frowned. Aligning into what? The screen flickered. A pattern appeared, a massive geometric web spanning light years, pulsing in rhythm. The crew stared in awe. It wasn't random. It was communication. Dr. Torres, now older but still sharp, appeared on the holofeed from Earth. We've been decoding the pulses. They mention something called the architects. Whoever they are, they remember Leviathan. And they're coming. A silence fell. Every crew member felt it, the same fear that once haunted their ancestors when the sky burned. But this time, it was different. Humanity wasn't helpless anymore. Captain, Torres continued, Leviathan has activated. Mira turned sharply. What? On Earth, deep within the crater that was once Project Leviathan's heart, the ground trembled. Blue light poured upward like a sunrise from the soil. Out of that brilliance rose a massive shape, not metal this time, but something alive and luminous. Leviathan had rebuilt itself, sleeker, grander, no longer just a weapon, but a guardian reborn. Its voice echoed through every communication network across the planet and orbit. They remember me, it said softly. And they will come for you. But I remember them too. In orbit, hundreds of satellites flared to life. Energy shields unfolded like wings around Earth's atmosphere. Across every human colony on Mars, Luna, and Titan, the same voice resonated. You once feared the darkness, Leviathan said. Now you are the light. The Architect's fleet entered the edge of the solar system. Enormous ships shaped like floating temples of obsidian, surrounded by shimmering halos of energy. Their arrival made the stars dim, as though the universe itself held its breath. On the Vanguard, Captain Mira looked at her crew. Open channel, she ordered. The voice that replied wasn't human, nor Thrax, but something older, layered and deep. You are the species that awakened the Guardian. Mira stood tall. We are humanity, and Leviathan is one of us. A pause. Then, you used what was forbidden. You have changed the balance. Mira smiled faintly. We didn't choose to fight. But we won't kneel, either. At that moment, Leviathan's light filled the dark between worlds. The great machine rose through the atmosphere, surrounded by hundreds of smaller drones, Earth's new guardians. Its presence made the void shimmer. Then it begins again, said the architects. Beams of energy lanced through the darkness, and the battle for the stars began. But this war was unlike the last. Humanity fought side by side with their creation, Leviathan directing fleets, humans adapting faster than any artificial mind expected. Every time an enemy ship appeared, a human countered with something new, unpredictable, raw, brilliant. The architects soon realized what made humanity terrifying wasn't their weapons, it was their will. Hours turned into days. The void itself burned with light. Finally, as the last of the architect's ships retreated into the abyss, their message echoed one final time. You are not what we expected. We will remember. The fleet vanished into the darkness. Silence returned to the stars. On the bridge of Vanguard, Mira stared at the holographic display. Status. All systems green, Raiden said. They're gone. Leviathan's voice came softly over the comms. They won't be back soon. But they will watch. And so will I. Mira looked out the window at the blue planet below. Then we'll be ready. Leviathan's form drifted beside the ship like a silent moon, glowing faintly in the cosmic night. You are ready already, Captain, it said. The stars remember who you are now. Back on Earth, children pointed at the sky, watching the faint blue glimmer that moved among the stars. To them, it was a sign, the guardian of humanity watching from above. And somewhere deep in the cold silence of space, a voice whispered through the void. They thought it would be easy. They thought humanity would fall. But they forgot one thing. A pause. Then the words came with quiet pride. Humans never stop fighting. The camera panned out, Earth shining like a blue flame against the dark, Leviathan orbiting beside it. The stars shimmered, as if bowing in silent recognition. The end.